Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hockey Thursday Talk, hosted up by Inline Hockey Ireland. We have Michael Crean and I'm Ken Musat, and we will be hosting our second guest in season 2. Please welcome Julian Cuervo from the Colombian national team. So, hola Julian, we're very glad
Hi
to have you
everybody.
here. How are you doing?
Hi everybody. I'm good. I'm really happy to be with you guys. Thanks for this meeting.
Right. So you're in Colombia, so that's not a country that's always known about hockey. So can you tell us a little bit about your hockey career, whether it was in ice hockey, inline hockey? How did you get hooked on that amazing sport?
Well, I start when I have like 8 years old. I don't know if you remember, guys, but there's on TV there's a show that name is MacGyver, and that guy was amazing inventor and whatever, and he plays hockey. So I say I want to do the things that dude do, and my in a Christmas my father give me the skates and the stick, and I start playing with balls in the street, and that's my start. I guess that when I was like 10 years old, there is no federation or nothing, and all the fathers of the players that we are here decide to put together a federation, and they have to start forming clubs, and they divide the players in clubs, and they put the things that we need to be a federation, and they put it together and they do it. So I start as a roller hockey player, playing here in Colombia. I had the opportunity to go to finish my degree in Miami. So I played there for the FIU University roller hockey team. And I started playing ice hockey with them. Uh, with the team that I started playing, we've been to a lot of private tournaments in the United States and Canada. Maybe we try to go since I have 15 years old, one or two tournaments each year. So we have like 8 crazy years going each year to play outside, and we won a lot of things. We make a lot of improvement. We bring one coach from the States here to teach us a little thing that we doesn't know. And then I have the opportunity to play for the ice hockey project that we have here, and we won two Pan Americans, maybe three. I just been in two tournaments. One we won, and the other one we finished third one. And I just took the decision to start to being the coach, because there are no coaches to do that thing here as the way that we need it and we want it. And there's a lot of young players better than myself right now, so it's better that I take a step aside and try to put my best as a coach.
Mm. And to talk a little bit about hockey in Colombia, we've taken a bit of look at the history of hockey in Colombia, and we've noticed that you were champion in the 2015 and 2016 IHF Pan American Ice Hockey tournaments.
Yeah.
So in terms of development of hockey in Colombia, would you say that it has improved the development there, or what's your take on those results?
It's really a crazy thing because here in Colombia we doesn't have ice hockey rinks and nobody knows. When we went outside to the first tournament, we arrived like 1 week before. We have maybe 4 or 3 guys that live outside the country in the States, and they have ice rinks. There's one of them that are really skilled player, and we train so hard. There are like little ice rinks here to recreation and to skate with the little guys. They put it only in Christmas, and we start doing. And we have the mentality that if we are good on inline hockey, we have to be good on ice hockey. We put a lot of effort on that, and it was a really nice experience. Maybe one of the best of my life, because I've been there with my friends. I play with them for 20 years together, and they're not my friends, so they're my family. So it was a crazy thing to do, to be there and won, and that feeling, it's amazing. But it get better for us as a player, get a lot of maturity, and the game is really different. Playing ice hockey is so different to playing roller hockey or inline hockey. It's so different. uh, that project keep going, keep getting stronger each year, as the same as we in the inline hockey. So that experience bring a lot of improvement to us. It's a really nice experience.
Well, I guess you guys in Colombia have a lot in common with us in Ireland because when you mentioned the little pop-up rinks during Christmas time, that's also exactly the same situation.
Yeah.
uh, so I'll go back on inline hockey just right here. So you mentioned that you're playing for Miami in the US, right? So how did what brought you there in the first place?
Well, I'm a hockey lover, and I had the opportunity to go outside to finish my degree. I'm a designer, industrial designer. So I was in Canada playing a roller hockey tournament, and some company put me an email and said, if you wanna make your internship here, you can do it. And things of life. There's one player playing with us from Miami. Say that's really close to my house. You can stay with me for 1 year, for 8 months. And when I was there, I started playing in the local rinks for recreation. You know, open hockey. You pay like $10, $10, and you play for an hour and a half. And in one of those nights, a goalie came to me and say, I'm from Colombia too. Oh, really nice. And we start talking, and he said, came the next week to this rink and bring $20. I said, okay. When I was there, I realized that I was uh, doing some proof to the university, and he never tell me the truth. It's just we need one D, you play nice D, and I just think that it was really cool have another Colombian on the team, and I have to put a lot of effort on that tryouts. It was really hard, but hopefully I made, and it was a really crazy rush. I have a really nice time with US players, and it was really really good for me. I really enjoy it.
You mentioned about playing in tournaments in US, and like we've seen on social media in the past of Colombian teams going to Norwich and State Wars. Like, what do you make of those events, and how does that um, link into Colombia's sort of development at the national level?
Well, the Narch, I don't know if you guys has the opportunity to be in Narch or Tours or AAAU, but they're really good tournaments, because when you are a little kid and you go to a ring and you start see the booth of Mission, Bauer, new merch, you see the hoods, the clothes, that's amazing. That's big. That's huge because in the World Cups you don't have the opportunity to see that merchandising. And that impact a huge on us. And when we start looking at the level of the players that they have, that blow our minds. Definitely, that's one of the most important thing for us. It has the opportunity to go outside and play. The hockey there is really different than the style of hockey that you play in a workout. They are more show, they are more speed. They have, I don't know, they do really plays that maybe in a normal World Cup they don't do, because in the World Cup you try to play safe. I don't care if you win 1-0, 2-0, 10-9. The most important thing is just win. In Arch, you see amazing stuff, and they do like skills. The same in tours, the same in all the US private tournaments. They're really good ones. The level in the pro division, it's really nice. You enjoy a lot to see those games. It's really a cool stuff.
And in terms of differences, would you say that the style of play that you've encountered was a bit more physical than when you were, let's say, playing against European teams?
Well, I think there's a few things, but yeah, depends on one. For me is the rink. If the rink is small, you're gonna be in much touch with other players,
Mhm.
And the other thing is the rosters, because in the US tournaments, sometimes in the pro division teams, there's a few players that play all the season, the ice hockey season in some professional leagues. There's the case that few guys that play in any shell even. So those guys know how to play physical without rudeness, They know how to do it. And we, in roller hockey, we have contact, but not much. But if you compare the World Cups and then the private tournaments in the US, yeah, they have so much contact. In the World Cup, every time it's a fall. I don't know if you guys have the opportunity to saw the final in Barcelona, Czech Republic against US. You know that the ref never called nothing. The
Yeah.
guys are hitting each other all time, That's the way you play in Arch Pro Division. That's the way. You always are hit each other. It has to be a really big fall that, or big penalty. But it's a little bit more physical.
So you yourself, you're playing in the US, but you're also, among other players, for Colombia, but also you also have players playing in Europe. And I'm thinking, for example, of Camilo Medina, who plays in Western Europe. And do you think it's helpful for those players to go abroad and get that kind of experience and bring it back in Colombia? Do you think that's one of the key of success for the success that you had in the latest World Cups?
You know, it's it's part of it, but there's a lot of things that make the results. But with social media, you are in contact with all the world. That doesn't happen when I have 17 or 18 or 20 years. You know, if I know someone, it was because I know him physically in a tournament. But right now with the social media, you can contact with another team that need a player, and they can see your roster. And they like you. They say, "Come and play with us." And obviously, for a country like us that doesn't have the development and the history of the sport, uh, that our players can be coaching, but are really coaches that have the knowledge and the formation as a coach, it's a really big impact, you know, because you have to learn to respect your coach. You have to learn that to be a sports practice, to be an athlete is different than play for fun. And that mindset just give it to you when you are sitting by yourself with 10 players that they are athletes. And that's the most important thing in the coaches, in the structure of the club, the administration. They have to get nice on food, sleep well, make the dry lands, go to the gym. They have to be athletes in all the world. So for them, it's a really impact. And when they came here and they say to the rest of the guys, hey, let's go warm up. I don't warm up. Why not? Because I don't need it. You need it. You want to play well, you need to warm up. Go sleep at least 10 hours before a game. I don't want to sleep. You have to. Eat well. Let's go gym. Let's go jogging. There are things that have to change your mindset, and we have to work a lot. We have been like 4 or 5 years working with the mindset of the athletes, and that became a really nice, successful kid for the things that are happening right now.
Along the same sort of topic, we've talked off air about you bringing in coaches from Europe or the US, and can you talk a bit more about that, like how it's helped the development in Colombia and changing the mindset and not just for the players but for the coaches as well in Colombia?
Well, I'm not work alone. I work with one of my brother. I say my best friend is, the name is Eduardo. We work together. And when we start to be the national coaches, we set a meeting, and we understand that we have to learn the best as we can from the best countries. So you see the AAHL Ice Olympics, and you saw Finland. It's a powerful country. Czech Republic, the Russians, and the Sweden. There are four potentials there. And you see Canadians and US, and we have the Canadians and the US influence. So we put on our targets the other four countries, and we take a decision, and we say, like, we are not going to be able to win a World Cup or to be good on that if we keep playing with the same strength to the other countries. We need to design our own strength. We need to find them. And we've been in Sweden. We learn a lot of technique, a lot of teamwork. They work together as a unity. There's amazing thing. They are so consistently. The next year we've been in Czech Republic. They have a lot of skill in the skates. They like to skate a lot, and they like to play open spaces. Last year we've been in Russia. That was incredible because they say, like, that's okay that you have nice hands. That's okay that you are strong. But if you doesn't have power skating, you are no a good hockey player. You have to understand different ways to play. And that in that way, in that direction, we start to play with our strength and develop our our the things that were not too good. And that became a big a big impact on us. And the other thing was the mindful. All the coaches that we have, they already say like, you have to train in like if you are the world champion. You have to eat, you have to think, you have to visualizing winning games. You can't go outside and compete and see your opponent and feel uh, little than them. You have to understand that you are in the same situation and you have to compete in the same space. If not, your mind is not going to help your body, and it's not going to be possible to put all the things together. And that's two things are one part of the big keys. And the other thing is that as a hockey lover, we always knowing people and travel a lot. So we have the opportunity to bring some coaches from outside in Colombia, some coaches from US, some pro players, some ex-pro ice hockey players, and we make camps to try to put our strengths in the same line. So we are not a good shooters. We doesn't have the strengths to do that. And we find one guy who knows how to develop that, and we bring in here and we make a camp just for shooting. The other thing was always has problems with the goalies. So we find one of the best goalies in the inline hockey. Say hi to Daniel Brabeck. He's a really nice friend for us. And Danny came like for years. Maybe it's gonna be this year too, but with the coronavirus and stuff, he couldn't came. But he developed a lot of work here with our goalies, and that's a really nice thing because you can see the impact of the knowledge of those coaches.
So we can see actually the results, in the latest World Roller Games of Colombia, which was especially in the last two ones. So one in Barcelona and the other one in Asiago. So you've coached with Eduardo Valderrama
Yeah.
with for the junior men's team. Uh, we have seen that progress. So you explained one aspect, but uh, what kind when you bring those coaches, is it just something that is organized by your federation, or is it just the club individually that set up those meetings with coaches from abroad?
Well, we work with our federation, but at the same time, each club work by themselves. They have their own coaches and they have their own rules. But the main thing, I guess, it was like all the group of players that we have together working for being the national team understand one thing, and that it's not gonna be easy being inside of the team and so for me as a national coach, I have to say thank you to the guys because the little kids training so hard in his home, they understand that they need to be better in a physical way, so they start going to the gym. They train so hard, and our federation put a psychologist, a sports psychologist, and she stayed with us within the most of the trainings. And we have the support for the physiotherapist and a medical team. So all that things together make our sports get a big step, and they became in an athlete. And when you're talking about an athlete, you're talking about a person that understand and analyze the game, just not go outside and play. They think they have to analyze how I'm gonna play, how I'm gonna win. And I think maybe the bone. We have a nice bone with the players. We as a coach have a really nice bone, and it's a really nice environment to work here. They are really nice people.
And so how long have you coached the national team? And among those experience, what was the most memorable memory that you have?
Okay, I'm coach for 4 years. This is my 5 year. I have two stories really that impact me. One, it was in China. We are losing in juniors against Canada, 5-1 maybe 5-2. Second time, it spent like I don't know maybe 10 minutes on the clock, and we are believing in that we can do it. The goals that we have against it was our mistaken. And we can put together all the minds and the same thing, and it was we can do it. So the thing is how we are going to do it. We put our plan. We start making like change a few things, And at the end of the game, we won 6-5. And for us, it was amazing because Canada is one of the biggest one in hockey. You know, it's they have their history and they are really amazing country in hockey. The opportunity to be able to won these guys in a 5-1 situation and then be won 6-5, it was unbelievable. There's a lot of things that call us and say that's really happened. You are 5-1 and you turn up, and yeah, that's happened. And maybe the other one, it was last year in Barcelona with the junior female team. We are losing 1-0 against Italia. And hockey is about time and space. You have to think a lot. It's not just speed and force. And we take a timeout and we saw the time and we say it's now or never. We need to come outside and do something out of the pocket, some desk design or something. And one of our players, she said, I have an idea. And we give them the board. And she said, what about if I step up here and two players go around, we make through the board this thing, we open a space and let go what happened, and she take this lob. We do that, they do that. And they won, and we won 4-1 to the Italian team. Last year, the Italian team beat us 5-1, I guess, in the same level. So those two for me are really, really big things. I remember all the time.
Okay, we spoke quite a bit about the national program. We're going to circle to something slightly different. And like, how is inline hockey viewed locally in Colombia? Like, I assume you're being probably a more minor sport. You're competing with the likes of soccer or cycling for sort of publicity and attention. Like, how is inline hockey locally in Colombia?
It's almost at the same part of the world, you know, the soccer, the boxing, the gymnastics, the cycling here has more importance than us, but we are just 1,000 players. They have 1,000 for each club, and each city have, I don't know, 10 clubs or 100 clubs, depends of the sports. So we are a small community, really small community, but I think we are so passionate and we are so competitive. And as we are so competitive, even if we are just 5 teams in a tournament, each one of them want to go outside and win and put all together, put all the effort, put the mind and the time to go outside and give the best. And I think that's really amazing thing, because we wish that we are better here. We wish that we are bigger, that the support money and broadcast and I don't know, some networks, some sponsors, but it's tough. We have been trying on a lot. We knock too many doors. We say like, hey, we have these players that are going to World Cup. How many players are you? 1,000. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. There are too many times they say no, but we never surrender. We always keep going, and things happen. Don't ask me how. Sometimes I just say God always is with us. But each year we can be able to be outside with all the teams together and complete.
And throughout all this effort, what would you say, in your opinion, would be the short-term and long-term objectives for your national teams, whether it's junior women, junior men, senior women, senior men?
Well, I don't know if you know, but this year the World Cup it's supposed that it's gonna be here in Colombia, and we have a meeting in January, and we start talking with Eduardo, and we say like, we need a 4th team, get in the top 5. That's our worst scenario. We want that the junior ones go for the finals. We want the junior females go to the finals. We're gonna put together a team for senior women's. They're really good. They're maybe 4 years without World Cup competition, but they keep competing inside of the country. And we want them in the finals too. And with the senior guys, we say top 5 at least. So if you ask me a little term, I say that we want to remain in the top 5 inline hockey potential. As the biggest thing, I want to have the #1 medal. I want to get champion with one of the four teams. That's a dream that I have. I wanna settle down myself and see a medal for number one. That's our main spot.
Do you see any major challenges in achieving number one to overcome, or do you just can't keep doing the same work you're currently doing and you think it's going to happen, or is there something you need to change, or whether
I
it's
think
as a coach or as an organization?
I think we are going in the right direction. I think the change it becomes reality, and that giving us like the confidence to believe in our work process. But to be number one, we need too much work. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not. We with the senior team, we have to spend 3 years together in the pool A with the top 8 players teams, and it becomes not just the way to go outside and play. It becomes a play inside of your head to pressure and the lot of things. And I say that we are in the right direction, but we need to work a lot, and maybe in our mindset a little bit, and in our smart hockey. You can't go outside and just be athletic and physical. You need to learn how to think in a hockey environment. And when we have in each team 3 or 4 guys that can do that, have smart hockey, we are really close to be champions. So we are develop our player to think hockey, think smart hockey, take the right decision at the right time, not be scared to make mistakes. The mistakes are gonna happen anyway, so don't worry about it, go fix it. But when you're playing, thinking in the mistakes, you are in the wrong way to be able to win. So we have a lot of work to do here.
So I think I noticed a pattern in terms of your line of thought. When I come back to the little story where you told that one of your players was taking the board and thinking of a play system for against the game against Italy, and now you're speaking about players that are smart and you need of things other than just playing physical or having endurance. So am I right in saying that for you, players that are smart and are able to adapt to different game situation is in a way more important than other components of the game?
Well, as I told you a few questions ago, we have to understand that the hockey is about time and space. You need to be able to play in the spaces, and you need to be able to get the right decision at the right time. That's a really important key. And there's another extra thing that I always believe in is like the chemistry between the team. You can have nice players together, but doesn't mean that that's going to be a winning team or even a team. And the chemistry, it has to be a symphony. When one guy say, let's go to this side, and the whole team believe, things can happen. But when you doesn't have chemistry, and when you guys are fighting each other, even if you have the talent, it's tough. That things is important. And I think that maybe all this is mindful. All those things are the mindset. When you change your mindset, you realize that you'll be able to get another goals or go bigger than you thought. But you need to change your mindset, and that's really hard thing to do, because if you want to be stronger, you go to the gym. If you want to get lighter, you take your nutritional stuff seriously. If you want to be better on a skater, you go practice skating. If you want to be better shooter, the same thing. But how did you train your mind? It's a nice question. That it's a key in hockey. It's a really nice sport.
Yes, sorry, we're going to jump all over the place again. You talked about World Championships are meant to be in Colombia this year. And we hope that if they don't go ahead this year, we hope that they're back in Colombia in the future. Like, what could a player expect from a World Championships in Colombia? Like, what kind of experience will they get?
Well, Colombia is a really nice country. The World Cup is going to be in a city that the name is Cartagena. They have beach and it's really nice weather, similar as Barcelona, maybe similar characteristics. The people here love to be, I don't know, admire the competition. So when there's a sport competition or sport event here, the people like to go and watch. They like to be involved in the games. They cheers a lot. They like to recognize the effort. So I'm not. I'm sure maybe that if the World Cup it was here this year, the players that have the opportunity to came, they're gonna have a really nice experience. They are gonna go back home really happy because pues, one thing is like the money here is cheaper, you know. So when you came from Europe or from US, your money it's better here, so you can have really nice experience and facilities, and you're gonna be in nice hotels, nice food. It's gonna be fun for you, but the people here makes you feel like you are in home. It's a really fun environment.
Um,
All right. So I think on our part we're almost over. Julian, for a little thing for our Hockey Thursday talk, we always have our little challenge. Plus, it gives some time for our audience to think about the questions they might want to ask you. First question would be who is your favorite ice hockey player or inline hockey player?
Well, inline hockey player, maybe I like Nathan Sigmund. I worked with him last year from US. Smart player, is small, so smart. He's a really nice person. And in ice hockey, I really like the way that Amadi. I like the way the Letank from Pittsburgh Penguins play. I really like the way he takes decision as a D. I really like it a lot.
Next question is what is your favorite ice hockey national team? And you can be biased.
Mm, national team. Well, I
Just
really
pick up
love
one.
Sweden. I really love Sweden. You know, when you see the States or Canada, there's only one player to is this big star. Or when you see Russia with Ovechkin or Malkin or I don't know, they're big names. When you saw the Sweden guys, they have really nice players. But even that, they always play as a unity together. So that's really it's enjoy to saw. So Sweden is maybe my favorite team.
And then the last question for the little game is what is your favorite ice hockey rink and inline hockey rink?
Well, I think inline hockey rink I like a lot. The last one in Barcelona was really beautiful, but the weather it was so hot. There's an in the United States. There's a place in Miami that the name is Germain Arena, and it's a really nice place because they use that rink to play ice hockey too. And the main arena is huge. It's a really nice arena. And if you ask me about NHL or ice hockey rinks, I have the opportunity to play in the Sky Stadium of Moscow, CKA. Sky, this is a professional team from Russia. That's blow your mind. That's bigger than a soccer stadium. We have the opportunity to play in the court that they make practices. It was a hockey palace, you know, and the main arena is it's unbelievable. It's really beautiful.
Thank you, Julian, for answering our questions. Now we might have a couple of questions from the audience, so I will let Michael take them and transfer them to you, Julian.
Okay, all right.
yeah, we have our top fan as usual, Francois, have a couple questions. Firstly, she asks if how many registered players are there in Colombia? How many clubs are there in the different cities?
Well, we have maybe 4 cities registered. We have like 12 clubs right now. 10 years ago, we can be like 20, but right now, I think we are 10 to 12. And players, we are not more than 1,000. Putting all together, you know, seniors,
Yeah.
kids, female, and not more than 100.
And then following on from that, she asks how many, how, I'll add to this as well. How does your domestic competition work? Is there leagues? Is it tournaments? How many
Well,
games a year do players play?
that's a big thing that we have to change here 4 years ago, because we make cups maybe one each month, and we go outside to the first World Cup that we work as a coaches, and we said we are so naive in the way that we playing. So we start to study the way the leagues are playing in Spain and France, and we realize that they play each weekend. Each weekend they have one or two games. So that's put the mindset of the athlete each week working for the game, and you put it all together. So we changed 4 years ago. We have here in the main city, Bogota, one thing is the Capitalina League. So the senior guys and the junior guys play each weekend 2 games. But at the same time, we got the interleague. You don't play by your club, you play by the league. The interleague tournament is one of the year, but at the same time, we got weekend cups or festival for the little ones. So we try to mix together a little bit, but we understand that we have to play leagues. There are right here in this moment 2 leagues. One with the federation right now, the national league, and the other one it's like a private league. So there are 2 at the same time.
Okay. To follow on from that, I think we spoke off air about what are the rinks like in Colombia. Like, how many rinks are there? Are they big size? Are they small?
We have 4 rinks that maybe have the approach to play roller hockey really good. One in Cali, it's beautiful. They play world games there. It's a really beautiful place. Have all the things that you need. And we have 3 here in Bogota. One is new, is the one for the federation. It's a coliseum. They have a gym's installation, and they have all the space to be able to play, the floor and the screens, and it's really good rink. We have another one here in Bogota that is from a private club, but they put it for the tournaments. It's a big one. It looks like an ice hockey rink. It's really big one, so it's good to train in. They have the nice floor, ice court. They have in both rink here in Bogota. We have ice court. In Cali, we have sport court. There's another little one, and doesn't have. It's not like a closed coliseum. It's more open space, and has like the some national experiment of sport court to the floor. But it's a really good one too. We can be able to play there. So we have 4.
All right. I don't think we have any other questions. So thank you again, Julian, for being our guest.
Okay.
In this second season of Hockey Thursday Talk. You're welcome anytime. And I would like to thank everyone who joined us, and we'll have another episode next week.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everybody.
See you all next week.
Adios, Julian.
Adiós. Que estés bien.